So, cities have the capability of providing something for everybody only because and only when they are created by everybody, Jane Jacobs said, and I think she's right. Everybody has to contribute. So this is a short story about Linköping's ongoing project engaging the citizen in a social disadvantaged area to take part in city planning. In Linköping we're about 100,000 residents. It's a quite boring city actually, but we have a good university and a lot of high-tech industries, much connected to Saab and building of those horrible airplanes. But it's a quite prosperous municipality with a lot of ongoing city projects. And here we have Skäggetorp. Here's Skäggetorp, that's the social disadvantaged area, and you can see there's a ring, there's a road around Skäggetorp, so it looks almost like a ghetto, and there are big stores, a railway, fields, and woods separating it from the rest of the town. And here are some numbers that really shows that there's some big challenges in Skäggetorp. So in 2015, the municipal committee instructed the city planning committee to start a city plan for Skäggetorp. The work with the plan should be together with the residents in Skäggetorp. The aim is to increase the social sustainability in the area, because even though large investment has been made for many years, the social segregation has increased in the area. So, trying to reach out to as many residents as possible, these different methods were used. It's challenging to get people who perhaps cannot read or speak Swedish involved, so when the usual forms for getting people informed in the planning process couldn't be used. So, there were some focus groups, and they worked with a method called design dialogue. It's a very hands-on method using photos on which the participants place strings, bricks, and symbols, creating their vision for the area. So there's no need for language or reading skills using this method. And all groups got 7 different subjects to think about, for example, spaces for recreation, local center development, living environment, housing and structure. And in all there were 14 focus groups. They worked for 2 hours each. And in some groups there were only girls, so we could make sure that their opinions were heard as well. And the architects and the other staff at the city planning department got help from some key persons in Skäggetorp to identify participants to the different groups. It was important to try to find people with the different, from all ages, ethnic groups and cultures, and also entrepreneurs and people who were there only daytime. And this is some quotes from the interviews, and I think they show that there's a will to improve the area. People don't want to leave their homes, they just want to make Skäggetorp a better place to stay in. And then the architects took the 14 suggestions from these focus groups and combined them to 3 different sketches. Then there were open meetings where people came, and also here very hands-on, improved the sketches after their beliefs. In these open meetings there were both people from the focus groups, there were architects, politicians, entrepreneurs, organization, real estate owners in the area, and of course residents participating. And in the end of each meeting the groups presented their ideas to each other. And they also did some directed Facebook surveys to try to reach young people because they were a bit harder to get to join these meetings. And then these 3 sketches, they were also on display both in the local center in Skäggetorp, in central Linköping, and on the municipality's website. And people could discuss the sketches with architects from the city planning department and leave post-its with their opinions. And on the website it was possible to leave comments to the different sketches. And late this spring, all of the dialogue and of course a lot of other different investigations about traffic noise and so on resulted in the draft of detailed program for Skäggetorp. The document is about 100 pages, so a short version in only 4 pages were handed out to all households in Skäggetorp. And there was only 30 individuals who had any opinions. And right now, there's just one thing going on in Skäggetorp, and that's the building of a new activity house, a place where organization and youth could have activities. The former activity house burned down in 2014. So I think that time perspective is quite challenging in this. The mission was left to the City Planning Committee in 2015, and the aim is 2035. So people, individuals' needs and wishes changes quite a lot in 20 years. So how do we keep these people's trust? This family, they want a house to live in now, not when their kids have moved out. So it's really challenging how people could feel that their opinions have been heard, even though it takes 10 or 20 years to realize them, to the new city to be built. And how could we make sure that this just not result in, that this makes Skäggetorp just better and more exclusive housing and nicer parks, so that the people living here today have to move? Because if you increase the social sustainability, it has to be more than the physical environment.
Just before you go, we've been talking a lot over the last couple of days about it's great that you have all this process. And as you said, it's tricky at the end when some of the outcomes may be 20 years away for people to see the consequences of them taking part. But how do you make sure that that process doesn't then feel like a cheat? Because I think in many towns and cities, they go through this process asking loads and loads of opinions, it's written up, and there's a lovely kind of exhibition somewhere in the library. And then what gets built is determined by the budget, the property developers, the housing associations, who in the end say, okay, let's kind of do like 2% of what they want and we can move on and forget the rest of it. How can you ensure that that's a genuine outcome from those conversations?
I think you can't, but perhaps you have to be very, very honest when inviting people to participate in the process, that it's a wish list, and in the best of all worlds, like 1% will come true. So I think it's...
So that participation, you really have to manage expectations. If people think they're going to draw on a lovely playing field or a new school, that isn't going to happen. They can play with all the bricks they like, but in the end, there's only a tiny percentage that can filter through.
Yes, I think so.
Good. Well, at least some honesty there from the process. You know what you're getting in Linköping, that's for sure. Thank you very much.